Hey guys, trying to do a lightning fast video here. Looking at theta at the 1 hour chart. I'm going to go up to the daily chart just to show you where we are. So we had this pretty nice up wave, got right to the resistance. But the problem is we're getting resisted. So we had this little pullback, we had another candle, but um, there's no follow through at the moment. But that's fine because what I think is happening, and I could be totally wrong. This thing can go right now, but what I think is happening is we need some sort of cool off phase. I mean, this is the 1 day chart, so we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's 9 candles. If I pull up my TD sequential, did it get to a 9? No, it didn't. But you know what? That's okay because we still have 9 candles, and to me you need a little bit of a pullback, just a little bit. So I'll show you here. If I go down to the 4 hour chart, it's a little better. So this looks great. This looks really great. So what I'm looking at, let me actually go to the 1 hour, and it's all going to make sense. So I'm looking at this like a 5 wave move. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 5 waves. So that's established. So we have a 5 wave move, right? That's 5. So we need something to correct some of that 5. But then also, to back test this area right in here. See, we broke out. This was resistance. We broke out of the resistance. We don't have to back test it, but sometimes you want to come down and back test this area before you continue on. So then what would that mean? What would that look like? What does that mean? Well, right here. So like I said before, we have a 5 wave move, and then it looks like we have an A, B, C, right? We have a 3 wave move right there. You see that? So one could argue, yeah, it's finished. It's finished. Let's go. Look at this. That's 1, 2, 3. So that's A, B, C, and then you can say, okay, it's done, right? Let's go, let's go, let's go. And that could very well be the case. So that we have a 1, 2, and now we're working on 3, 4, 5. The only little issue I see here is it's not, like I said in the beginning, it's not having enough follow through. The reason why I say that is because here is the resistance right here. And the wave went 1, 2, 3. So 3 waves, right? Just like this is 1, 2, 3. We had 1, 2, 3. Guys, the market moves in fives and threes. Fives and threes. So fives are correct, impulsive, direction. 3 waves are corrective, right? So we have 1, 2, 3. And then what happened? We got right to the resistance, right to the resistance, right to the resistance. What could be? Maybe this is some type of inverse head and shoulders. Doesn't look that good, but maybe it could be. But what could also be is something much simpler. And this is an A, this is a B, and this is a C. And when I say ABC, I would really say WXY. ABC is 335 or 535. So, for example, this would be, well, let me do this instead. So if it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, that's 3, 3, 3, right? So 3, 3, 3. So that's WXY. So that would be like this. W, we're in the X wave, we just completed that, and now we're going into Y. And that would be a bigger 3 wave move, right? That would be a 1, 2, 3. That would be a big 3 wave move. So we had 5 up and then 1, 2, 3 down. And the reason why I kind of like that, I'm not saying it has to happen. Nothing has to happen. We can rock to the upside tomorrow, today. Well, not tomorrow. Well, we could do it in the next 5 minutes, right? So I like it because one, we did get a little bit of a back test, but we can also, I like to zoom out and then I like to zoom in so that your brain can like adjust itself to where we are. So, okay, so here we are, and here's the range we're in on the bigger time frame, right? On the bigger time frame. So we're still in this range. And like I said in the previous video, this is to me looks like Wyckoff. We still want to break above it, right? Of the range and then continue on. So we're at the resistance point. So we had this big upthrust that was one wave, but you got to ask yourself, we have one wave. Do you think it's just going to keep going one wave? Chances are when you have something straight up, well, not straight up, but a one wave move that's up, you need a one wave move that's down so that it can retest this breakout area, so then you can go higher. And that's the market. That's how it fools people. That's how it confuses people, because when the market moves up, you get bullish and you really want to buy. And if you don't buy, you're thinking, well, it's going to continue going up, but there's no pullback. Where was the pullback? So anytime you have this up move and you're breaking out, just sometimes you want to retrace 50%. So if you look at this right here, this is the first half of the wave, and this is the second half of the wave. So this right here is 50%, right, of the wave. So if you are down here and you go up 100%, then you want to retrace 50% of the wave itself. Then look for an entry, then continue marching higher. Now, if you're an investor, if you're a hodler, if you're going to hold this for a couple of years or 5 years or 10 years, or for you're just a hodler, it doesn't matter if you buy it right here or even down here. This little range is nothing compared to the grand super cycle that you're actually trading, right? So it doesn't matter. I mean, yeah, you're going to save a few bucks here and there, but that's why it's called DCA, your dollar cost averaging. So you could have bought a little bit right here, a little bit right there, and then if we get to the top, sure, you can keep buying, right? But usually when you get to a wave that is equal to a resistance, you want to sort of wait a minute. Is it going to break out? If it breaks out, wait for the back test and then buy it. You're still in that same range. If not, then we get resisted right here. Then you come down and you buy the 50% retracement. So let me get everything off the screen. So that's where I see theta at the moment. I think it's, like I said, it's in this Wyckoff accumulation pattern. Here is the 50%. It's also the top of this wave right here, which is great. So we broke out of this resistance. We came up to this resistance. So instead of breaking the resistance, we can, but if we don't, then we come down, we back test this resistance. So it's like buyers and sellers are getting squeezed, right? So the buyers get up here, they get exhausted because there's a resistance. Then the price is like, okay, well, I'm going to go down. And then boom, the buyers step up because there's support. And then what happens? We go back up. So when we go back up, we're going to have a higher level of support. So we're going to be more than likely be able to break this resistance, because look at where it started. The wave started way down here and went all the way up. So it became exhausted. It needs a pullback. Of course, it could continue going up and up and up and up. But, we're trying to pick, spots according to like DCA, but also trying to figure out, where's the next move, not necessarily because you're going to sell it, but, most people The reason why I started watching out YouTube videos was not because I necessarily was trading, but because I wanted to know when to buy. So I would watch like 10 different channels, and like, let's say five of them were bullish, five of them were bearish. Then you can formulate your own opinion. Or if the pendulum swung further in the bullish direction, you would look for more DCAing spots. So you know that's that. So we see the wave coming all the way down here. We want to see it come down and back test this area and then continue on. And then when we break this, we want to see another sort of back test area. That way we can hold above this support, kind of like how Bitcoin's doing now, but on a bigger scale. And then once it's confirmed, this is the bottom, right? This is the higher low, and this is a 1, 2, 3. And once we confirm this support and confirm this support, then the market says, okay, we got confirmation that this held, we got confirmation that this held, and we got confirmation that this held. So let's freaking go, right? So it's going to think, okay, we're ready to go. So basically, that's what is happening at the moment. Now, anything can happen. This is not financial advice. I could be totally wrong. This thing can go to $1 million or it can go to $0. I have no idea. I'm just, giving my perspective of what it looks like at the moment. And at the moment, it on the shorter time frames, which, by the way, if you're a DCA hodler, you want to be looking at the bigger time frames, but also it's fun to look at the lower time frames because then it sort of preemptively tells the story of what's going on. So basically that's it. Thank you for watching the video. Please, if you want, leave a comment, leave a like. That'd be cool. So yeah, basically, zooming all the way out, it's the same sort of concept. We have this monster wave to the upside. We need to retrace 50% of that wave thereabouts. That's I don't know if that's quite 50%. That's in that area. So I would say you take this is the wave, and then if you cut it in half, it's like right here. And guess what? We're right at probably that halfway point. So that's why on the grand scale, it's an amazing buying opportunity, right? But when I zoomed in, now I'm going to zoom in. This is the 3-day chart. Now, if I zoom all the way into like the 1-hour chart, it's the same thing, but on a much smaller level. Actually, probably better to go to 4-hour chart. There we go. Let me take everything off the screen so it's not all crazy. So, like I showed in the beginning, we have this big wave, and we might have to retrace 50%. So here's the 50% of that wave, right? 58% of that wave we could retrace, come down, and then continue on. And that's where you want to be buying if you're a short term. But on the bigger scale, we're right at that area where it's looking good for a nice pump to the upside on the macro. And that would complete this Wyckoff accumulation, where you have that first wave, that second wave, that third one that doesn't break the top, and then you have the spring phase that breaks the bottom, and then you have this reaction. So either the reaction can break all the way out, back test the top of the range, or it can break all the way up to the equal areas of the resistance, then come down, retest 50% of the wave, then continue on and marching to the upside. But what we don't want to see is it continuing to come down to the back to the bottom. If this comes back down to the bottom, that's going to be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's going to be a triple top, and it's not going to look good, and it looks like it's going to break to the downside. But do I think that? I don't. But if that time comes, then we can talk about it. But until then, that's what I'm looking for. What do you guys think? Are you bullish? Are you bearish? Most people have a bullish bias because they hold crypto. I hold crypto. So I'm going to have a 51% bias of the bullish direction because I want it to go up. I want the price. But You know what? That's where, discipline comes in, because all I have to do to challenge my bias is do this. Whoa, see that there? And if I do this, what I did is I flipped the chart upside down. So taking everything off the screen, it to challenge your bullish bias, sometimes it's good to challenge your bullish bias. So this is what it looks like flipped upside down. It looks much different, does it? So what does that look like to you? To me, that looks bearish, which means it's actually bullish. So the price is going down, which really means it's going up. And then when it goes up, that's really like it's going down. So it looks like it's just, wanting to do this. So then when I flip it invertedly like this, that's what it looks like. You know what I mean? So it's kind of cool to challenge your bias. Sometimes the simple things are what it is, and that's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're looking for that fifth wave. And here's the thing, this wave right here is proportional with this wave. When you have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you want the proportionality to be like 50%, like I've been saying, 50%, or 1618%. It really boils down to how you're viewing it. But this is what the direction we want to see. So let's see it, and let's get it done, and let's go.